Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Jim, and we're going to be pre-flying this beautiful S model today. Alright, so we're going to cover the beginning of the pre-flight inspection, starting with the cabin. So first we're going to make sure that this pitot tube is unobstructed on both sides and the cover is off. Alright, now we've moved inside the airplane. We're going to be looking in the back seat here, is where they normally keep them. The G1000 cockpit reference guide, and we're checking to make sure that is accessible to the pilot. Now usually I will check the binder inside at the dispatch desk, but today because I'm doing this video, I thought I would check it out here. So right now what we're looking for is all of our times. So we're looking for the 100-hour inspection and the oil change and all these ADs. So these are all intact time, and then all these dates, we are good until 2022 on annuals, but we're looking for 149.8 on the TAC. We're at 135.6, plenty of time before the next oil change. So that's what we should do every time inside. Working back into our checklist, we're looking for, our required documents. Here is looking for our weight and balance. All right, here's our weight and balance. So our basic empty weight, our arm, and our moment. So that covers our weight and balance, and that is in the binders. Everything else should be in the airplane, because here is our POH. POH is usually in this back seat here, but because this is a newer airplane, we haven't decided to stretch that out yet. Okay, so there's our POH. Here we have our airworthiness, and our registrations is up there. Alright, we're going to set our parking brake. We'll remove our control wheel lock. I like to put this in the back here in the pocket, just because, so that way it's out of the way and I could use this pocket up here. The ignition switch right here is off. Avionics bus 1 and bus 2 are off. Mixture is idle cutoff. Master switch is going to come on. And we're going to wait for this PFD to come on. And there's our PFD. We're looking for our, well, let's get our tack and hobs first. So let's bring that binder back up here. Alright, so we're going to check our hobs, which is 135.6, 135, or attack 135.6. Up here it is 174.5, which matches. That's good. So we're going to look for our low fuel annunciator, which is not present. Our oil pressure annunciator is on. Our vacuum annunciator is on. Bus 1 we're going to fire up. All we're listening for there is just the sound of the fan. Make sure it's unobstructed and everything like that. So let's check the one that, so the bus 1 fan is up here on the dash. Bus 2 fan is in the back somewhere. So let's listen for that. As you can hear, it sounds good. We're going to extend our flaps. That little lever down there. And we're going to make sure nothing's behind us when they're coming down. Flaps are down. Alright, now we're going to check all of our electrical systems, like our pitot heat and our lights. So I turned them all on, and we're going to take a walk around the airplane. Our beacon is functioning and the cover is good. Our position light on the rear of the airplane is functioning and it is good. our strobe is good and the cover is good. The nav light on the right side is good. Our landing light, it depends on the S model. As you can see with this one here, has two lights on this side and nothing on that side. But on these newer ones, it has one on each wing. So you gotta check for that. Just checking our lights, making sure that the case is not cracked in any way, shape, or form. And now we're going to head over to the pitot tube now that it has had a chance to warm up. And I'm going to use the back of my hand because it's more sensitive. And as I touch the back of my hand, do it very gently. I felt that it was warm. It was hot actually, so that's good. So we're going to turn the pitot heat off. We're going to turn all the lights off. Then we're going to hit master switch off. Alternate stack is on, is off I should say. We're going to change the fuel selector valve to both. Fuel shutoff valve, we're going to push in, make sure it's on. And then now we're going to take this outside. Alright, so now we're going to look at the cabin door. We're going to press both of these buttons, make sure it's nice and secure. Alright, so that completes the cabin checklist. Now we're going to look at the fuselage and empennage. So on some of the airplanes, there's a static source right here for the autopilot. That is not present on this newer airplane. We're going to take a look on the underside. This isn't on the checklist, but I like to just look on the underside. We're going to check this antenna here, and I'm just going to look for any cracks or anything like that, or any fluids or anything that we got to worry about. The bottom looks good there. We're just checking everything on this side of the airplane, and we're going to check to make sure the tail tie down is removed. Alright, the control surfaces we're going to check. Alright, so what I do is I go up and down, forward and back, make sure it's secure. They're going to go up and down. Full range of motion. We got 2 static wicks here. We're going to check the whole side. We're going to check the antenna. We're going to give this a left and a right. Should be free. Should give you a little bit of tension. It is bungees back there, so they will move for you. Alright, we're going to check up here, the other side, coming down, looking for cracks or any imperfections or anything like that. We're going to go up and down on this side. Got good motion. Now we're going to make sure that this is secure. We're going to bring it up, look on the underside, make sure that this bolt is secure. It's a castle nut, and it looks good. 2 stack wicks. Same thing on this side, up, down, forward, and back. Now we're going to look at the other side of the empennage. Same thing, we're making sure that our ELT antenna is good. Underside of the airplane looks good. And now we're going to move on to the right wing checklist. Alright, so now we're looking at the right wing of the airplane. We're going to check the top for any damages before we're going to stand back and look for that. Now we're going to move on to the flaps. Alright, so the flaps, we're going to make sure that this track here is straight with the bar, so it won't bind up in flight. Same thing on this side. Let's hope you guys can see that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and down, make sure that there's not too much play. We're going to check the actuating rod, make sure that it doesn't have too much play and it is secure. Now we're going to go up on the aileron. I'm going to check for 4 bolts on each hinge here. There's 3 hinges. Now we're going to check the actuating rod on this one. Up and down, good range of motion. And I'm just checking this for static wicks here. Up and down, forward and back on the wing. I don't know if you guys have seen the case where there is a Piper who had a Piper's low wings have had issues where the joint between the airplane and between the wing and the fuselage will actually become not secure, and it could fall off in flight actually. So that's why I do that. It's not on the checklist here, but it's just something I do to make sure, just for a peace of mind. So now as we're walking this way, we're checking the underside and the leading edge of the wing for any problems. And now we're checking this bar as well at the same time. All right. Now we're going to, the wing tie down has been removed. Now we're going to check the fuel quantity of the airplane. The fuel dipsticks are in the back seat of the pilot's seat. It is in the back of the pilot's seat. Looks like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to put one foot here, and we're going to put the other one right here. So up. Alright, so now while we're up here, we're going to check the top of the wing again. We're going to check the antennas here, the outside air temperature here. And on most of the S models, there will be a, what do you call it? A ADS-B right here. Alright, so this airplane has 26.5 gallons in the left tank. Now you can't just go straight down because otherwise you'll hit the fuel sump, so you actually got to go off to the side a little bit. Because here, if I go straight on the fuel sump, we only show 22 gallons. But if I go off to the side just a smidge, we're showing 25 to 26 gallons. So, gotta be careful for that. So there's that. I'm actually just gonna put this over there, leave it for the other side. Gonna hop down. Well, we want to make sure that this is straight and secure while we're up there. All right, now we're going to sump the fuel. So I'm going to open this door. Oh, sorry. Now we're going to get the fuel sump cup, which is normally is in the back seat in one of the cup holders usually. And what we're doing here is we're looking for any water that might have ended up in the system. Water, contaminants. You don't need to take a whole lot. Alright, so water is actually, there's no water in this. There's no contaminants in the right wing. So I'm going to put that down and we're going to continue the pre-flight inspection. So now we're going to look at the main gear. Look and make sure that the tire is inflated. It is not bald, which means that you don't see these treads anymore. It just looks smooth. We're going to look at the landing gear, make sure that's secure. We're going to look at the brakes. We have good amount of brake pad. And I don't see any red fluid underneath, which would be hydraulic fluid that actuates the brakes. So that is good. All right, so the right wing checklist is complete. Now we're going to move on to the nose of the airplane. All right, now we're on the nose checklist of the pre-flight inspection. We're going to do the fuel sumps. There are 3 of them under the airplane. One right next to the main gear, or right next to the nose gear, I should say. One back here, and then one in the center in the back. Okay, and while I'm down here, I'm going to take a look around, make sure that the underside of the fuselage looks good. I didn't see any issues with the fuel. Alright, now we're going to look at the oil level, which we're going to open this door by pushing this button, letting it come up. Here's our dipstick. I'm going to twist it to the left, pull it out, twist it until you find the numbers. Looks like we're at just a little above 5 quarts. I'm actually going to add a quart of oil today. I will do that after the pre-flight inspection. Alright, so we made sure that this is tight, not too tight, but we know it's secure. Close that door. We're going to check the cowling. We're going to check to make sure all these screws are in. We're going to make sure that nothing is, leaking or anything like that. Alright, we're going to check that throughout the nose inspection, because now we're going to look at the surface of the propeller for damages. So I'm going to look at the leading edge of the propeller for chips, which is mainly where the imperfections are going to be. But I'm going to check the front and back and all angles of it. We're going to check the spinner now. We're gonna check the spinner all the way around. We want to make sure that there's no cracks in it. We want to make sure it's secure, so I'm going to use my hand. Just push up, down, left, and right. Make sure that it is not moving anywhere. We're going to check the alternator tensioning, alternator belt tension, just by pushing on it in there. And we're just going to look around inside, make sure that there's no birds or anything that made their home in here. And there's no oil or anything inside. Looking over on the other side of the propeller, no obvious damage. Looking for cracks, nicks, anything like that. We're going to look at the other side of the cowling here. Other side of the cowling looks good. I missed a step. We're looking at the air filter here. Air filter is clear. This side of the cowling looks good. I'm going to check the nose wheel. We want at least a couple of fingers. We have at least 4 of mine, so that's plenty for me. We got the tire is good. The oleo strut looks good. There's no fluid underneath, which is good. And now we're going to check the static source opening, which is right here, and that is clear. Now we're going to look at the left wing. I'm just going to close this door so that way it's out of my way. I'm looking just at the leading edge here. Looks pretty good to me. We're going to check the fuel quantity. We're going to climb up, same thing. Left foot on this step here, right foot on the one on the strut. Another 26.5 gallons. Now I'm going to put this away before I leave it on the airplane somewhere. Okay. We're going to hop back up on the wing. I'm going to make sure that all the way to the other end of the airplane is good from up here. Look at the tail, look at the other wing. We're looking everywhere because this is hopefully the last time we're going to be up here. We're going to make sure this is straight and secure. I'm going to climb down. All right, so now we're going to look at our pitot tube. Again, we're going to check to make sure that it is clear, front and the drain hole, little pinhole back there. All right, so now we're going to check the fuel vent here, which is this here. We're going to make sure it's clear and it's secure. The left tie down has been removed. All right, the fuel vent tie down. Stall warning opening. We're going to look right here, making sure that is open. We're going to check the landing light for its condition over here. Landing light looks good. We're going to head all the way out to the wingtip here. Making sure everything is good out here. We're going to go up, down, left, forward, and back. It is secure with the airplane. Now we're going to go up on the aileron here. We're going to look for 4 secure bolts, 4 secure bolts, and 4 secure bolts, which is good. Check the actuator rod. That is good. Down, good motion. Up, good motion. Neutral. Now we're going to check for our flap again. Same thing as the other side. I'm checking the actuator rod and the tracks, make sure that they won't bind. We're going to check the landing gear here, make sure it's secure, the brakes are good, and the tire is good. All right, so now we're going to grab our fuel cup, our fuel strainer cup, and we're going to check the fuel over here. Normally I just do a 1/1000 count, so 1/1000, 1/1000. And we're going to take another last look at the fuel, make sure that it is blue and there's no clear liquid anywhere in there. And let me show you where we can dump this fuel at for Lewis students. We have these fuel cans set up all around our airport, so in all the hangars and in all of the in front of out on all the ramps. So we're just going to dump the fuel in here, where it's going to be recycled for later. All right, that concludes our pre-flight inspection. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, Comments, let me know what you guys think. Take care and have a great day.